normally the start of all my videos. I have my animals sleeping in my bed. Now, realize I've been up since 5 o'clock and it's 9 o'clock now. And, well, this might be the job that I would like. Wait for it. Oh, see? Do you know what time it is? It's 9 o'clock. Most kitties your age and are out working. What are your plans for the rest of the day? OC? All right. I think OC has spoken. Hey! Today I'm gonna do some lunging. I want to show some different ways that I lunge. Oh, the wind is blowing really hard today, so kind of one of the reasons why I decided to lunge. I am going to lunge the horses with their boots on and just a bridle over, if you look in my arena, over some, these are trot poles. I have some canter cavalettis down there and some raised walk poles, working on the quality of my horse's walk. So I'm just gonna set my GoPro up and get busy. This is a 3-year-old that just came in for training. He is broke to ride and working on the quality of his gaits. And he's pretty big and has a hard time figuring out where his feet are. The poles have helped his canter quality and his balance, and I'm just trying to have a little bit of fun with him while he's here. So you'll see me, I use the walk poles for transitions. So I'll ask him to trot after the walk poles and then use my poles for a transition to get him to come back down to a walk. And as far as setting distances, it really depends on the size of the horse and how broke they are, whether or not you want a longer stride, shorter stride, quicker feet, slower feet. So I have about a size 7 foot, and these trot poles were set about 4.5 of my feet apart from each other. And you can see I have them set in a straight line for him, just trying to get him to move a little better off my body. And then I moved him down to the little canter grid that I had set up. Again, just to give him a little bit of an idea where his feet are, and you'll see the progression of the horses that I'm going to show you today on their training and their balance. And like I mentioned, he's a pretty big guy, so this kind of stuff's a struggle for him. This is a coming 6-year-old Andalusian mare that I've had for a while. I started her last year. With her, I work a lot on just keeping her head in the game. She's grown up a lot over the last year. We gave her some time off to kind of think about life and balance, and she's super fun and super willing and loves to jump. So you'll see she has a little bit more athleticism than the last guy, but she's also a couple years older than him. So and my canner grid here, I set it a little wider so it's 10 feet for her. It was a little closer for the big guy earlier, just so he could trot into them. And then again, using the walk poles to do transitions. And to keep her a little less quick. The Andalusians have a tendency to be a little quicker. The walk poles are set, for this mare, they're about 3.5 of my feet apart from each other. And then I just worked her down to the canter cavalettis. So we can work on, she's a little uneven left to right. She's a little stronger on her left lead. And just a little, kind of falls over her right shoulder. So I set these canter, they're raised cavalettis. I set them so that they're closer on the inside and a little further on the outside. So they're about 6 feet distance on the inside of the cavaletti and about 9 to 10 on the outside. This is my big gelding Rex, the star of the show, working, like I said, on his walk quality. The walk poles, the raised walk poles have really helped him a lot. He's a pretty relaxed guy most of the time. So getting him to be a little quicker with his feet, as you can see, he's lofty, but not so quick all the time. And I wanted to show that sometimes I set my poles so that they aren't in good spots. So I'll spend a lot of time kind of moving things around, readjusting them for different horses. And you can keep a good eye on them when you go over these poles, just to help the horses. This is a fun thing for me to do because it's tough to steer the horse over an obstacle when you're lunging them like this. And it has taught me where to be to move them when they're quite a distance from me. And then I wanted to show that I try to venture around my arena when I'm lunging them. Again, it's just, it gets them so they move off your body better, and that they pay attention to you. Lunging for me isn't to exhaust them, it's to get them to listen to me better, and to work off my body and work off my voice. I think it's super important. And this was a fun day for the horses and a fun day for me, just to show them a little bit of cross training and to not bore them to death with just riding. So the walk poles for him are actually set about 4 of my feet apart. He is a 18-hand horse, so his walk strides are about the size of most horses' trot strides. And like I said, you just play around with your distances and your poles, and it really depends on the horse and what your goal is with that horse. And like I said, with him, I work a bit on getting him so that he uses the earth a little different and gets his feet up quicker, because he has a tendency to just move big and pretty, which is great. But sometimes I struggle with like changes and keeping him quicker sideways. But it's a fun way to do something different with your horses and to work on your steering when you're lunging them like this. I have a great time doing this.
Hi, my name is Kat Ripley. I'm a certified equine and canine massage therapist. I've been doing this for about 15 years, 16 years, and I work on all types of horses, mostly performance, dressage, hunter jumper, endurance, 3-day anyway, but all horses they're athletes. They, no matter what discipline, or even if they're just a trail horse, they all need some type of body work, or at least sensitivity that they may need body work somewhere down the line. But just like humans, you should stretch before you exercise, and sometimes you'll do gentle stretching after. And I just want to show you a couple of moves to warm them up before you ride, after you groom, before you tack up. And one's called an abdominal lift, because you want to make sure that their extensors along the back, that they're able to flex, so they can't really move properly unless they have a good range of motion coming through the back. So we start off under the girth, and you can use your fingers, or I use magic chopstick, which if you're going to use a tool, just make sure you don't poke straight up. You're going to just go on this end, it's flat, and to me it's just easier. But you go right underneath. There's a little depression between the pectorals where the girth lies, and in that depression you're going to take your fingers and you're going to, or your tool, and you're going to scratch and lift at the same time. It's a reflex point. So do you see him lift up at the withers, and then you're going to take it down the abdominal line when you have the lift to the just to the end of the ribs, and you hold and then release. Starting over again. Okay, so this one is called a butt tuck or a pelvic tilt, and this helps to release and flex the main hinge joint in the lumbosacrum. And so there's two. You've got the gluteals, and you're coming into the hamstring group. So you'll see that little depression. And you want to go on either side of the tail dock. Some people start way up here. I start around here. It may be different for each horse. And you're going to, once again, use your fingers, and you push, and you just make little circles. And you
Again.
And there we go. Come back down, make sure they, and that just warms them up before you get on, because their main engine for their movement, impulsion, is in the gluteals. So you want to make sure if there's any stickiness at all, that they have that warmed up before you even start to ride.